Tips from a Master Photographer, Video 4, Composition. Composition has to do with taking the various elements in a photograph, then arranging them in certain shapes or formations, while at the same time placing this arrangement in a strategic location in the photograph. The definition of composition applies to other forms of visual art as well: painting, graphic design, sculpture, etc. These shapes and their placement create chemical responses in the viewer's brain, which in turn create emotional responses, causing the viewer to experience a certain feeling. For example, we all know how the S-curve of a woman affects most men when they see it, but did you know that the S-curve of a meandering stream gives us a feeling of serenity and peace? How amazing! Triangular shapes create the feeling of strength and unity in our brains and are an effective way to pose groups of people. At the peak of the triangle is the main point of interest because the diagonal sides draw our eye in that direction. Use triangles with groups or families and you can't go wrong. With these things in mind, placement of the subject or subjects within your photo becomes extremely important. When photographing a person, animal, or objects, if the main subject is placed in the center of the photo, it gives the impression of the subject resting or just standing there. That can be an effective way to compose a sleeping dog, for example, in a photo. There is a rule of composition for rectangular formats, such as photography, called the rule of thirds. Basically, you divide the view area both vertically and horizontally by drawing two lines along the 1/3 axis both directions. Where the lines intersect are called the 4 power points. When the subject is placed along one of the thirds axis lines, and or especially at one of the power points of intersection, it is visually more appealing to our brain. Another important factor when composing a photograph has to do with how we read. Because we read from the top left down to the lower right in Western culture, our eyes naturally want to follow an imaginary line that runs diagonally from the upper left corner of a photograph to the bottom right corner. The power points of intersection on the right side are the strongest because of the way our eye flows left to right to the subject. In societies where they read right to left, this rule is just reversed. When the subject is placed towards the edge of the photograph, but is facing in, it gives the illusion that it is entering the photograph. To the contrary, if the subject is located near the edge of the photograph, but facing away from the middle, it gives the illusion that it is leaving the photograph. In either case, the bottom line result is that there is an impression of movement in the photograph. The subject comes alive. If you employ these techniques, you will see how proper composition can bring your photographs to life. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and hit the like button.